What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for NBA Friday, April 3rd. These picks apply for the FanDuel simulated slates. And at the end of this video, I'll give you a few DraftKings picks for their simulated showdown slates. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's NBA slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, real quick for those who don't know how these simulated slates work on FanDuel, everything works the same. You build a full lineup using the players available in the slate. The only difference is the fantasy points each player scores is a fantasy score from any game that player has played so far this year. Only players with at least 15 games played are in the player pool. Pretty simple, they just take a score at random from previous games that player has played, and that's it. So knowing how that works, we've added some tools to Draft Dashboard so you can see all the possible outcomes of scores from each player, and we show the percent chance that the player has to score in each point range. So pretty handy. You can hover over the Sim Scores button and see right here exactly what scores this player can get for this contest. It will be one of these at random. And then you can see what percent chance they have to score in these point ranges. Okay, let's get into these picks. Okay guys, just remember, we have the daily League of Legends cheat sheet being posted to the site every single day. You can access that cheat sheet from the LOL tab here at the top of the site. So now let's take a look at the point guard position. I like Ja Morant, projected at 32.5 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.2 times value. He's 6,300 FanDuel salary. And let's take a look at his sim scores. He has only a 3% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less, a 41% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points, a 42% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points, and a 14% chance to score 45 to 60 fantasy points. So that's a 56% chance to score 30 fantasy points or more and get you over 5 times value. So I like Ja Morant here at 6,300 FanDuel salary. And then one of the studs that I like here at point guard is Russell Westbrook, projected at 49.1 fantasy points here tonight. That's 4.8 times value. He's 10,300 FanDuel salary. Let's take a look at his sim scores. Just a 2% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less, only a 4% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points, a 33% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points, a 43% chance to score 45 to 60 fantasy points, and a 19% chance to score 60 fantasy points or more. So that's a 52% chance to score 45 fantasy points or more and get you close to or over 5 times value. Tons of upside here. So I like Russell Westbrook here at 10,300 FanDuel salary. Okay, let's take a look at the shooting guard position. I like DeMar DeRozan, projected at 38.6 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.1 times value. He's 7,600 FanDuel salary. Let's take a look at his sim scores. A 0% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less, so that's great. A 23% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points. A 57% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points. That's your value zone. Then he has an 18% chance to score 45 to 60 fantasy points and a 2% chance to score 60 fantasy points or more. So I like DeMar DeRozan here at 7,600 FanDuel salary. Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $100 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won, and then we'll send you $100 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you. And I don't give you these obvious studs that often, but I'm just trying to change up the players that I give you on these slates. So you guys know to play this guy. It's James Harden, projected at 56.4 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5 times value. He's 11,200 FanDuel salary. I just wanted to get into his sim scores. A 0% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less. A 5% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points, an 18% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points, a 42% chance to score 45 to 60 fantasy points, and a 35% chance to score 60 fantasy points or more. Plenty of games that he has 70 fantasy points or more. So this guy obviously has major upside. Find the value plays, get James Harden in your lineup. So I like James Harden here at 11,200 FanDuel salary. Okay, let's take a look at the small forward position. I'm going to give you a value play here. I like Tim Hardaway Jr., projected at 23.7 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.3 times value. He's 4,500 FanDuel salary. Let's take a look at his sim scores. A 17% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less, a 52% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points. That's your value zone. Then he has a 29% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points, and he's got some big upside with a 2% chance to score 45 to 60 fantasy points. So a 31% chance for him to score over 30 fantasy points and get you over 6 times value. I like those odds, so I like Tim Hardaway Jr. here at only 4,500 FanDuel salary. Another small forward that I like is Will Barton, projected at 31.2 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.1 times value. He's 6,100 FanDuel salary. Let's take a look at his sim scores. A 3% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less, a 43% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points, a 47% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points, a 7% chance to score 45 to 60 fantasy points. So that's a 54% chance to get you 30 plus fantasy points and get you over 5 times value. So I like Will Barton here at 6,100 FanDuel salary. Real quick guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. So look guys, I know there's not a lot of sports playing right now, but we are posting a daily cheat sheet for esports for the League of Legends contests, and we just added these new DFS tools for the NBA simulated slates. We're going to be updating our tools to help you pick the best players for these sim sports, and I think these tools are going to give you a big advantage. There's no human element here. This is a stats game. This is a math problem. This is where our tools can really help you identify the numbers, the percent chance these players are going to score within these point ranges, so you know what you're getting into with each pick. Okay, let's take a look at the power forward position. I like Nemanja Bjelica, projected at 26.4 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.2 times value. He's 5,100 FanDuel salary. Let's take a look at his sim scores. A 14% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less. A 45% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points. So that's your value zone. And then a 36% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points. And a 5% chance to score 45 to 60 fantasy points. So this guy's got barely any low-end risk. Chances are he's going to hit value or crush value. So I like Nemanja Bjelica here at 5,100 FanDuel salary. Another power forward that I like is LaMarcus Aldridge, projected at 37 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.1 times value. He's 7,300 FanDuel salary. Let's take a look at his sim scores. A 6% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less, a 17% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points, a 55% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points. That's your value zone. Then he has a 21% chance to score 45 to 60 fantasy points and a 2% chance to score 60 plus fantasy points. So I like LaMarcus Aldridge here at 7,300 FanDuel salary. Okay, moving on to the center position. I'm going to give you a value play here. You're going to need these value plays to jam in James Harden and those other studs. So I like Marquise Chris, projected at 23.4 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.2 times value. He's 4,500 FanDuel salary. Let's take a look at his sim scores. 24% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less, a 46% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points, a 29% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points, and a 2% chance to score 45 to 60 fantasy points. So you're looking at near 70+% chance for this guy to get you 5 times value or more. I like those odds, so I like Marquise Chris here at 4,500 FanDuel salary. Okay, and one of the studs at the center position here tonight, it's Rudy Gobert, projected at 40.1 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5 times value. He's 8,000 FanDuel salary. Let's take a look at his sim scores. Just a 2% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less, a 19% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points, a 48% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points, and a 32% chance to score 45 to 60 fantasy points. So I like Rudy Gobert here at 8,000 FanDuel salary. Okay, I'm just going to give you a quick look at the DraftKings showdown between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Philadelphia 76ers. I like to start off by giving you the top value play on the slate. This guy stands out. It's Shake Milton, projected at 17.2 fantasy points here tonight. That's 17.2 times value. He's only 1,000 DraftKings salary. Remember, he was the starting point guard for a while, so he's got a 40% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less. You'll take 15 fantasy points. But then he has a 43% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points, a 10% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points, and a 7% chance to score 45 to 60 fantasy points. So this guy's a lock. Play this guy. It's going to open up tons of salary for you. You'll be able to jam in those studs. So I like Shake Milton here at only 1,000 DraftKings salary. Okay, another value play that I like is George Hill. You may not need this guy with Shake Milton at only 1,000, but if you want to go with George Hill, he's projected at 19.6 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.2 times value. He's 3,800 DraftKings salary. Let's take a look at his sim scores. 29% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less, a 63% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points, and an 8% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points. So I mean, looking at those scores there, I'm taking Shake Milton for 1,000 all day long. So forget about that. Go with Shake Milton. That allows you to play Giannis, Al Horford, Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Chris Middleton, Tobias Harris. Those are the guys that I'm looking at. But Shake Milton, he's my man for tonight. He's going to open up your whole lineup.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smickety smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again and good luck. Okay guys, if you're getting any value from this video, please hit that red subscribe button. We put out new fantasy basketball videos every single day. So if you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell notification, you won't miss out on any of our new fantasy basketball and fantasy football videos. Tons of free stuff coming your way. It only takes a second, and it helps us push out more fantasy content for you guys to consume each and every day. It's because of you subscribers that make this possible. So thank you for supporting this channel. This is a quick reminder, you should be reading the comments of this video. We have some savvy basketball fans who watch these videos, and they often give great plays and call me out when my picks are wrong. Wisdom of the crowd is a great way to get a feel for what players the field likes in today's NBA slate. We also have a DFS tool that shows you what players our members like for today's slate, so you can come on in and check that out.